Our next speaker is Mr. Ranil Wickramasinghe, Prime Minister of Sri Lanka, won the recent general election and is now the leader of his nation. I believe that his visit to Japan is a historic occasion that will contribute to greatly furthering the relationship between Japan and Sri Lanka. Prime Minister Wickramasinghe, please.
Honorable Prime Minister of Japan, Shinzo Abe, Prime Minister of France, Manuel Valls, Chairman of the STS Forum, Mr. Koji Omi, distinguished delegates and friends. It's only now I realize that Prime Minister Abe and I both read Arthur C. Clarke, and I'd like to recommend The Fountains of Paradise. Winston Churchill, the wartime Prime Minister of Britain, said, "The empires of the future will be the empires of the mind." And I see you gathered here today from all corners of the world. I realize how true this has turned out to be. I am indeed privileged to be able to address this distinguished audience and wish to thank Mr. Koji Omi, Mrs. Asako Omi, and the STS Forum team for inviting me so graciously. The STS Forum is indeed the equivalent of the Davos World Economic Forum for Science and Technology, and I salute Chairman Omi for his foresight in establishing it. During his visit to Sri Lanka earlier this year, Mr. Omi visited the Jaya Jayawardena Center and was impressed by its activities. President Jayawardena, who headed Sri Lanka's delegation to the San Francisco Peace Conference, maintained that a strong and united Japan was essential for a strong Asia and predicted that Japan would become a beacon for the underprivileged nations of those times to rise above the mindset of colonization and despair. After the peace treaty, Japan focused completely on peaceful development, and Japan began to expand not its extents of territory, but its terrains of knowledge. The conquest of science and technology has made Japan a miracle of all Asia and a global leader in industrial innovation, a much-needed forerunner in the Asian region. Today, East Asia is fast becoming the engine that is driving global economic growth. Innovation has been the key to growth, leading to rapid improvements of living standards. Yet, the benefits of science and technology have not reached all parts of Asia. Sri Lanka and the South Asian region in particular lags behind East Asia in the fields of science and technology. At the same time, we must not forget that South Asia, which will be the most populous region in the world by 2050, will also offer the greatest potential for growth. Therefore, I was truly heartened by the fact that the United Nations General Assembly voted resoundingly to endorse the 17th Sustainable Development Goals. With the focus on sustainability, I have no doubt that it will be through trans-border partnerships with science and technology that our shared futures can be realized. I believe that such a trans-border partnership between Japan and the South Asian nations can categorically fast-track development of our region. The application of Japanese science and technology will transform not only South Asian region, but also the global economy by creating a dynamic regional economy with a market of 2 billion people located on the sea lanes connecting East Asia and Europe. This can also be utilized as a strategy to fortify the Japanese economy, which generates half its national income abroad. Thus, the way forward is through collaborative partnerships between Japan and individual South Asian countries so as to complement their individual needs. These collaborations can be guided by the common objectives of A, strengthening the research base that is essential for economic development, B, creating centers of technological excellence, and C, transferring technology through direct Japanese investments. Let us take my own country, Sri Lanka, as an example. For the first time in modern history, we have a new government of national unity. consisting of the two main political parties, as well as the others. This became possible as a result of the election of President Maithripala Sirisena on January 8 this year. We are now embarking on the creation of an inclusive society, building bridges to accommodate the richness of our culture and the diverse ethnic, linguistic, and religious compositions of our nation. It is important that we not only nurture hope in our fractured people, but we also bring to them the benefits of development. Because we realize that advancement in science and technology is imperative for society, we wish to lay the infrastructural and institutional foundations upon which our people can realize their creative potential over the next 60 months. To realize this, I believe that dynamic regional growth with international engagement is the way forward. Currently, the southwest quadrant of the country, where the nation's principal metropolitan center, Colombo, is located, is integrated with the global economy, while the rest of the nation lags behind in varying degrees. Yet, it is to the metropolitan center of any nation that talent gravitates. The consolidation of this talent brings about synergies that would be more difficult to realize if they were thinly dispersed across the national landscape of an emerging economy. We are planning to establish a dynamic, globally linked megapolis region. Therefore, focusing on science and technology development, we are looking to introduce the concept of technology driver megapolis and the technology testbed regions. The driver megapolis is where talent gathers and technology development takes place, while the testbed region is where technology is developed in the driver megapolis can be applied to solve the problems of underdevelopment in the latter. A constructive engagement between driver and testbed regions can replace isolation and despair with inclusion and hope. A science and technology partnership with Japan would be critical to make this concept a reality. The method of transferring technology and the extraction of critical technologies can be achieved in the following ways: leveraging cutting-edge technology transfers through foreign direct investments, knowledge transfers through passive acquisitions, mainly machinery and equipment, collaboration in research and development between institutions in both countries, investment in the next generation of smart infrastructure, expansion of Sri Lanka's capacity for innovation by strengthening the universities and establishing institutes of technology and research, utilization of the extensive science and technology-centered Sri Lanka diaspora in Japan and other technology-advanced countries to build a bridge between Japanese and Sri Lankan institutes. All these measures will showcase Japanese technology working in the emerging South Asian economies to realize the 17th Sustainable Development Goals. In conclusion, in your deliberations over the next few days, may I urge the delegates at this forum to help nations of South Asia to come out of the shadows of their recent past and to commit to the furtherance of good governance and assurance of democratic freedoms based on the rule of law. That real benefits of science and technology society can best be drawn in an environment where the mind is unfettered by oppression and freedom of expression guaranteed. This freedom from fear is what our current government has regained for Sri Lanka in the 10 months of its existence. It is the duty of every political legislator to see that such congenial environments are created so that human spirit can soar towards great and lasting achievements. I pledge to do the same for our people, and Prime Minister Abe and distinguished members of the world scientific community humbly request your assistance on this journey. Thank you.